Hi, Dan, RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is doing fantastic. Getting ourselves out of a funk. Someone kind of threw this at me, and it's a great question, right? A lot of us kind of get into those places, right? We start getting bummed out, start getting a little, life's not good. Oh no, it's horrible. Oh, it's crushing me. Or something like that. So what happens when we get in these funks is we got to figure out a way out of it, right? So a funk, it can be like a depression. It can kind of be like a sticky place. Funks can kind of be sort of humdrum. Funks can kind of come into play when, it just doesn't seem like things are going your way. Just you keep noticing that every traffic light's red, right? Like whatever the case is, something is happening that's just like, this is not cool, and I'm kind of bummed, and life's not grooving right now, and what is up? What is wrong with my mojo? What am I doing that's screwing everything up? First off, it's a focus-based universe, right? So no matter what, that's going to come into play. Our focus is creating some of this. Now, if there was an initial thing that kicked off that maybe started this, our focus can certainly have made it worse, or our focus could have been what created it and thusly created all the aftermath that came with it. So that certainly is a possibility. One of the things that comes with a focus-based universe that is certainly to keep in mind is when we're trying to create situations. Say, for example, trying to create a new job, right? You need to get a new job, and sometimes this has happened to me before. So I'm just going to use one random weird example, but I've known other people that have gone through similar things, right? So I was working on manifesting higher levels of income and certainly moving in that direction. Was at a place that ended up laying me off. And I knew it was kind of coming. I saw the writing on the wall. The HR person, I knew before her, she even joked about it with me because I'd already told her. I said, yeah, no, my days are numbered here. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, trust me. So it was one of those things where when it played out, she was like, I don't know how you knew. And I'm like, I could tell, like, work was running out, questions were being asked. I'm like, I can tell that the person managing this department is looking to thin this area down. So saw it coming. Because of that, I wasn't necessarily looking for another job. I was just riding it out. I was learning what I could. I was doing what I could, whatever. So it happened. The day happened, got laid off. They gave me a little bit of extra dough, and that was that. That was the end of it all. And so it kind of, it makes you nervous. I had a condo, so I had a mortgage I had to pay, right? And the option of losing that kind of sucks, or being homeless just in general is always a little bit of a sketchy thing, right? And it was a little scary. It was a little sketchy, but what I found is I immediately reached out, looked for jobs, and ended up finding a job. I don't even remember at the moment how I came across it. I think I saw it posted somewhere or whatever. But it was a reports analyst position at a healthcare manufacturer. And that position was available immediately. I called within 3 days of getting laid off. I had already gotten my first phone call and had my first interview scheduled. Now, the starting process took a little while, mind you. I think it took me almost two plus months to actually get to the first day. But once I went through it all, got to the first day, it actually ended up being a place I was at for 5.5 years, grew enormously, started writing code for my first part of life, started actually doing some really cool performance increases on processes that existed, saved the company a bunch of money, and they certainly, started throwing good gobs of money at me too, and it was awesome. It's it was a great point in my life. Now, my point is, my focus was on increasing my wealth and my income and all those great things. The job I currently had, there was no way I was ever going to make more than I did. The funny thing is I got laid off, and actually going to the job that I got laid off from, I got a pretty significant increase in my raise or pay. And when I went to the next job right off the bat, I actually managed to work a significant raise into my life. So I ended up, over a year span, increasing my revenue by about 50%, believe it or not. Over a year with the two raises put together, actually from where I was when I started was pretty significant. So again, was growing very quickly, and that focus-based created a scenario in my life that certainly was problematic. Now, these problematic times can certainly put us into a funk. So one thing I wanted to mention is, of the funks that are out there, if you're stressed over something that's actually happening, say, for example, you're having to move, maybe you're changing jobs, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a breakup right this second. Like there's something significant that's happening. Don't be like, oh, positive attitude's going to save the day. I'm just going to sit here on my couch and eat bonbons and a job's going to fall from the ceiling fan and land on my lap. You can. I'm not going to say don't, but that's generally not the wiser choice. You should have inspired action. You should get out there and maybe get your resume in a few places. Like, get that momentum going. A lot of people say, how can I live in that moment? How can I feel that way? How can I get in touch with that energy? Like, doing that concept actually creates that, hey, universe, I'm looking. What do you got for me? Show me. I'm open to whatever's going to happen. So if you've got something significant going on, deal with it in some way. Like you gotta handle that situation. Take whatever it is that is in front of you. If you're moving, whatever, like get that worked out, get it figured out, get on top of it. If you got to find friends, find money, there's a way. There's always a way. So handle that. If you're in a funk because there is a legitimate thing going on in your life right now, that's transitory, that's change, right? It's only going to be there for a while. Then work on that, focus on that, get through that. Don't be trying to work on getting your SP while you're going through a change, like you're changing residence. Like that, your focus right now is packing, getting stuff loaded in the thing, getting it in storage, whatever you feel like you got to do to make your situation good. Focus on that, right? The other things there, it's waiting, and this very well is probably happening because you've got other manifestations that are coming your way that this is going to actually force you to look somewhere else, to do something different, to what, right? So in those situations, make sure you've got a plan and work through it. Find a way, get through this thing, and then hopefully your funk should go away once you've gotten through this difficult time. And by focusing on the solution of the issue, you're actually putting good energy towards it. And generally speaking, we'll start to feel better because you'll start to actually see that you're manifesting a way out of it, right? It's kind of, maybe if you're stuck in the mud in the car and you go backwards and forward, and then all of a sudden you finally start breaking fully through a little bit. Maybe you just start kind of throttling the gas a little bit, right? Because you don't want to just punch it because you spin it all, right, and lose it again. So it's that you start to see yourself getting out of the muck and mire and you start to feel better about it. So in those scenarios, that's one place where getting out of a funk is a good thing. Now, there's also going to be times, and in a lot of cases, believe it or not, where your funk is maybe going to be a self-prescribed remedy. You're bummed, so you want to get in touch with that bumness. You feel sad for whatever reason, so-and-so, right? I know how sometimes we get in these little emotional, poor me, and it's not emotional and poor me are the same thing. Like they're kind of different. Like you can have emotional situations going on that, maybe you just need to get through it, to grieve, to go through the 7 steps of grieving, right? And just that's part of that solution, right? Sometimes we're just in a funk because we kind of want to be in a funk. We just are bummed and we're just like, nah, and I listened to a sad song and then I started watching a sad movie and then I just got into this whole getting into being sad. All right, well, that sounds like a self-prescribed funk to me, and it happens. So getting out of that is something that's going to be more of a choice when you finally feel like you've done enough, been through it enough. A lot of times we finally just say, yeah, I'm tired of being bummed. I'm tired of being sorry. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired, whatever. And you just finally just throw up your hands and say, I don't care anymore. I'm done. I don't want to be this anymore. And then you get out of your funk. So it's kind of one of those things that you keep feeding it because you want to be there. And then once you finally don't want to be there, then you leave it. So for those versions of the funk, that's kind of how you get out of that, right? You should just kind of, do I want to be in a funk right now? Am I enjoying this? Do I keep choosing sad movies? Do I keep putting sad songs on the radio? You're feeding your funk. If that's the case, stop feeding the funk or continue to feed it until you're finally ready to stop your funk and then stop feeding it. So again, these things happen in different ways. So that's another aspect. Otherwise, again, it's a focus-based universe. A lot of times, our funks are based off the fact that we're focusing on things that aren't going real good right now. We're looking at it right now. We're looking at our feet, as I frequently say. So one of the easiest ways to kind of get yourself out of the funk when you're in that place is you need to have some go-to happy spots. Like in Peter Pan, for those of you that have seen that, the guy lost his bag of marbles, right? His bag of marbles wasn't just losing your marbles, which is funny. It's a creative way of saying you've gone crazy, right? You've lost your marbles. But another thing is losing your marbles, in his case, was he lost his happy place. And when you're happy, and Peter Pan is how you fly, right? That's the magic of flying, is the happiness, right? So that happiness, his bag of marbles, was lost. So he was unable to have that happy place. So we need to have that bag of marbles. We need to have that place that we know we can go if we need to get happy. No matter how angry or grumpy we are. For me, an example, music. There's a lot of songs. I could be in a horrible mood, but I could put certain songs on, depends on the mood and depends on how, like Esther Hicks talks about, like kind of gently steering yourself into better thoughts, better feelings. Like it's the same thing. Like I'm gently steering myself music-wise, but I'm not going to go like more angry music. I'm going to start getting into something that maybe is more based in where I feel like feeling right now. Maybe it's more of a rock and roll kind of thing versus more of that heavy, punky kind of whatever, and then starts maybe bending that more into, I don't know, ballads. I'm just a crazy direction. Maybe I want to get in touch with my feelings and loving and all that, right? And then I start spinning that maybe into Hall & Oates, right? And I start working it down that path, and now all of a sudden I'm singing Your Kiss Is on My List, and I'm feeling a lot better about life, right? So it's not a bad thing when you spin yourself down. So music is one thing for me, definitely. Nature, it's another one for me. I can walk out in nature. I can take a walk outside. I can watch like a frog go jump by, or I can watch rabbits go running around and actually kind of get a little kick and a little like excitement and a little happiness and a little giddy even when I see these sorts of things because it just feels good. And so getting outside, walking around, gets the energy moving and get to see cool things. I have neat experiences with nature, which for me is a way like universe can talk to me easier than when I'm just locked up in my house all day long, maybe doing work or whatever, right? Because I work from my home. So again, like any number of things can happen. So getting outside. Some of us might like writing, might like creative writing. So that's another thing. Just start writing. Start writing a note to yourself, right? I've talked about auto writing and auto talking. These are similar things as well. Like get in touch with your higher self if you feel like it and start kind of dialoguing out and say, hey, what's going on? Why are you feeling so blue? And right. And then let your higher self respond back and start just writing, right? And you'd be surprised some of the cool stuff. Or just creative writing. Write about something fun. Describe something you enjoy, and make a little writing exercise for those of you that enjoy writing. If you don't like writing, that's probably not going to work for you. Exercise. A lot of people like to get out there and hit the gym or, go jog it off, right? And then get that energy out that way and the anger. And every step of the way, you just push and push and push and push that energy out of your way. Or like the gym, like I said. Now, again, if your health permits, there's a particular viewer that has mentioned, her health, that she kind of created some problems by doing exercise when she wasn't at a place where she should have been, right? So, of course, if your health is questionable in any way, make sure it's safe with a doctor, right? And I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV either, for that matter, actually. So, again, exercise if you can, but it's a great way. It releases endorphins. Certainly a lot of positive things typically come from exercise for the majority of people that are, able to do that right now. And talking, some people just love to talk. Just they can just go and have, you know what? So the other day, and they can just talk away, right? Talk for hours, talk. I'm kind of like that, unfortunately. So sometimes going out and being with people, if I'm feeling like I need some of that energy, that interaction, maybe I feel like I'm missing people, and that's part of my funk, right? That could be one of those things where maybe I want to go out and be around people. Now, there's also the converse for me sometimes where getting away from people can sometimes help alleviate my funk because it's more of a people-induced funk. But again, whatever it is, sometimes just getting to a place where you can get your energy back in line, get it to a good place, get where you're feeling well, get where you are thinking about something that you like and enjoy. Have that bag of marbles. Have that happy place available to you. Always have a happy place, that you're at least one happy place you're aware of, and spend many years of your life trying to find as many of those happy places as you possibly can. And you will find that life is a very enjoyable and something you can rejoice frequently with because of that. I kid you not. It's like probably one of the secrets to life is to find as many things about life that are wonderful, and you will just find that life is pretty darn amazing. The more times that you see those kinds of things. So hopefully we can work more of that into our lives. Getting ourselves out of that funk. You know what I'm saying? Little funky action. Yeah, YouTube, try to stop that. That's made up music. Can't even go there. It's mine. Anyway, getting ourselves out of the funk. That's Dan RadioStyle. Hope all of you enjoy. If you haven't subscribed, please click the little subscribe button, or at the very end of the video, see like picture of my face. If you click on that, it'll let you subscribe. I think the only thing that makes you sign in. So if you don't sign in, it's cool. If you don't want to subscribe, just keep watching. That's good for me. And little bell icon, it'll let you know every time I put a video out. That's always a good thing if you're into my stuff, and if not, it's just annoying. So don't do that if you don't like it. If it's annoying to you, then undo that little icon thing, and you won't be notified if maybe I'm irritating, right? Don't want that. Anyway, stay in RadioStyle. Hope you guys like it. Doing more videos, put comments in there. Tell me what you want to talk about if you guys got questions. A lot of times it turns into show topics frequently. So thank you so much, and we'll do this again. Thanks.